can hear the music again. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of GeekCypha here on Free X Agents Media. We are live. If you're watching us on Twitch or on YouTube, shout out. But if you're one of the people that knows to hit us up on our website, GeekCypha.com, we appreciate it. GeekCypha. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Crazy. Yeah, I wanted to apologize. Sorry I was late. There's some unfortunate information that I found out just before the show started that I had to take care of, so I had to take a second. A little sad about it. A little disappointed.
No one died or anything, right?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
I told you what the thing was.
Yeah. But I'm just, letting everyone know, and it's not a death family or anything.
It's not a level of seriousness that is detrimental or traumatic in that way. But sometimes when you find out the small things, you're just like, but why? The big but why? Yeah. And then that but why just makes you annoyed because it's just like, well, we could have just discussed it. You know how people be doing things and not communicating. Communication, people. That's all I'm saying. Always.
I think a lot of times people just don't want to fess up to anything because it makes them look weak or makes them look bad. And it's like, well, if you tell me, then it's like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. At least you
right?
told me.
Because I'm saying, like, if you don't tell, if you make a mistake, it is better to say and speak up than to not do it. Because if you look at it this way, if I'll explain it without saying what's what, but if I'm working with you and you mess up and you don't tell me you messed up, I'm never working with you again. Mm-hmm. So in that case, I'm never working with this person again. That's just what happens now. And that's unfortunate because had we just discussed it, then we could have addressed it together. But instead now I'm just going to be like, I don't want to work with you no more.
Right.
And that to me seems silly to lose out on potential financing in this day and age, in this market, as they say. In this market, Lord have mercy. It's been another crazy week. We are here in MTL. For those of you who don't know where we hail from,
the lost city of Atlantis. That's what we are. We're underneath the sea. Under the sea.
Thank you. Yes.
Under the sea.
I was trying to work in how bad this weather has been, but you brought it. You brought in the best way to say it.
Well, we survived the weather,
yes,
and then a major main pipe broke. In the southern part of the city
and washed away. So my buddy works for a TV network here in Quebec, and the entire archive in the basement got flooded.
No.
And I don't know if that means it's gone. The way they explained it was just like the archive got flooded. A lot of people are really sad at the office. I was just like, damn, are you guys okay? Like, yeah, it's just, people, it's history. It's like history. I was like, yeah, I could see that. So that was a rough one because I felt that for them because you could tell that they were really sad about it and just working with everyone. Like everyone sounds hurt by losing all that history. So,
like some people might feel like, oh, whatever. But it's like, I guess for us, in the 90s where like they changed, I guess it was like the English school board, or was it?
Yes, yeah.
Or they were starting to close a lot of English schools. I see people that we knew in the community fighting to argue to bring that to not close that stuff off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember that woman. Oh my goodness, you're on the news, kind of thing. But that little moments where you get to see yourself on the news. Oh, look, it's me. Oh, yeah, look, it's Carnival. And look at me, it's over there. Look, that little 5 seconds, that little 0.5 seconds, that's me right there. That's my arm.
Yo, it's funny. You mention all that, and that brings up an even bigger conversation about the importance of local news versus this thing they're doing now where everything is done by centralized news, like news studios, out of Toronto or out of Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to get people to do it over here and do all your local news. It's just like, yeah, but they're not part of the community, so they won't be covering the same things.
Yeah, when did City get over here? City used to just be in Toronto, right?
City's been here City TV's been here for a while.
Yeah, but City had a morning show, and now the morning show's gone.
Yeah. Like,
and
it was
stuff like
literally
that.
across the street from the Sun Life building or near the or, like, where the Gazette is, I think. They used to be in
Okay.
that building.
Okay.
And I knew
Yeah.
somebody that used to produce for that as well.
But now they're gone, right? They don't
Yeah, I
even have
think they're
their new
gone.
yeah, and that's the thing that's sad because when I see that people come back and not people come back, when people start to do actually, no, I was right. I do want to say people come back because they weren't doing the news that way in Montreal for a minute. And then City was here, and City felt like the people who were going to try and do it again in the city from that community aspect. You would see, like, I bumped into the woman that was hosting the morning show at
Mm.
the grocery store down the street from my house, and you had that
Ah.
moment of like, yo, you're on my TV in the morning. The same way that when I was a kid, I bumped into Denis from CBC News when we were kids. Like,
Right.
you see the people doing the news in your community, you're like, oh snap, you actually live here. And then when they start to do the news outside of your city and it's not localized anymore, that to me is a problem because then your community doesn't have the same representation and also same voice, but also real talk. If you're in Montreal and they do the news and they up a lot, guess what? When we see you in the streets, we're about to say something. Montrealers are the type to be like, hey man, what was that news story about Uptown? What are you talking about? All this violence.
Except for we don't mess with Mitsumi. Like she's forever protected.
Yeah,
she's protected.
She can say anything she wants. Mitsumi saw me at the St. Patrick's Day parade in my fitted all green Expos cap and pointed me out and said, I love your hat. And I was just like, yes, queen.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, my queen. I will forever be
Senpai
proud.
Noticed me.
Yes.
Gangster ass last name. What?
Takahashi.
What?
Takahashi.
Everyone knows how to pronounce that name. No one's gonna be like, I don't know how to pronounce that. No, you know how to pronounce that.
Exactly. You say it with oomph too, Mitsumi. Yeah, man. You're not playing, bro.
Put some respect on her name.
It took me a minute to figure out how to say Galifianakis, but
Mitsumi Takahashi, no problem.
Takahashi, no problem. Right off rip.
Was it that you were talking about with the current Doctor Who? He was like worried that people wouldn't be able to say his name, and his mom told him people can say Tofskeyeske, right? Like, they could say your name. Don't worry about them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them.
Did you see the video where Shooty talked about the fact that he wasn't even pronouncing his own name properly? Like he was telling people how to pronounce his name, and then his mom called him and was just like, "That's not how you pronounce your name." And he's like, "Wait, what?" She's like, why are you telling people that's not how you pronounce your name? And he's just like, that's how I've been pronouncing my name this whole time. She's just like, that's not how you pronounce it. And then she told him how to pronounce it properly. I was like, that is the funniest shit I've ever heard. That you
not know that.
Wild, yeah.
I guess in his head when they were saying it, he just never picked up that the soft N. Because he like my partner even told me, oh, you just say Shooty. Because it's homeboy from Sex Ed. So it's just Shooty. But then supposedly when there's like an interview with him and his co-host from Doctor Who where he's explaining how actually you're supposed to pronounce it. It's just not a hard like shooty. It's like shooty. Like there's like that kind of soft but he was like explaining to people how to pronounce it, and then he explained, but my mom had to correct me, and I was like, sir, you're an adult. Like imagine my name.
No, you ain't too old to get your mom corrected.
No. I'm saying you're an adult in the sense like Ness was saying. Like your name is Janessa, and if you find out your whole life it's Ganessa or something, you're like, excuse me, what do you mean I've been saying it wrong this whole time? Like
how's he never been corrected before? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she saw the YouTube video, and that's when she decided.
Nah, you know why? You know why? Every first generation mom, you ain't a doctor, you're not a lawyer, you're not someone I could show off with. I ain't watching it. I don't care. Whatever. Oh, that's nice. You on the TV. Okay, fine. Wait, you saying the name wrong? You finally watched that one time when he finally famous.
His mom ignored him. His mom was just ignoring him
whole life.
The whole time.
Yes.
You are not successful enough for me to care that you are running around telling people the wrong name. Let me just wait.
I can't show off to my friends. I can't show off to my friends at work or down at the parlor or whatever. So whatever.
That's terrible.
That is so funny. That is such a you know what though? Jaws is joking, but I can see it. I can see it.
That's some real talk.
It's funny though that you said that because I feel like I saw a interview recently of an actor. I can't remember who it is. So annoying. But there was an actor who said that everyone pronounces his name wrong, but he just lets it
Oh,
be because he's
well,
like
there's a
it's the
lot. Like,
English way.
There's quite a few.
yeah, Hassan
Yeah.
Minaj, for example, it's Hassan. It's not Hassan. Like, he's another one that I saw recently explain to people, like, oh, that's not how you pronounce my name, but I just let people ride with it. And I was like,
because it rides better a little bit, like, you know.
I think
yeah, but I mean,
when-
he's pronouncing it wrong. Even if it rides
I mean,
better.
but he's famous. He's not going to correct people to be like, I'm sorry, it's Hassan. You see how fast he wouldn't get booked? They'd be like, okay, buddy.
No, that's no, but that's
Yeah.
the thing. That's specifically why they don't correct people at first. But now that he's famous enough, that's why he's just like, nah, I'm about to tell y'all you've been saying it wrong. Let's say it right now.
I think William Dafoe is another one. I think he was talking to
Oh,
Conan or
right,
something,
yeah.
or somebody, and he was saying like
I
his
learned that
accent
recently.
it wasn't pronounced. He wasn't pronouncing it the right way, or people weren't pronouncing whatever. Who else?
So it's
Jake
not
Gyllenhaal
Dafoe?
is another one.
Oh yeah, Gyllenhaal I've heard because he like
It's supposed to be
explained-
Gyllenhaal or something
yeah,
like
the
that.
proper right. But like some of those names, you have to acknowledge they're only pronounced that way in specific parts of the world, and
Yeah.
no one. You're not gonna like.
Where
I
they
get what you're saying.
originated from.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes,
Willem Dafoe, I
100%.
think it's not Dafoe. I think it's
The
Dave.
Friend?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was
Nicola or
something else.
something.
But it's not Dafoe. I think. I'm pretty sure that's not what it is.
Again.
And even his
Or-
his name, his real name is William.
Not Willem. Or
It's not Willem because
No,
it's
it's not
spelled Willem.
Willem.
W-I.
No, that's his stage name.
Oh, okay.
His
But
real
that's
name
not
is
us-
actually William.
But that's not us misspelling that one as much
No,
as he
no, no, no.
changed
But
to
it's
say-
just
yeah,
he
okay.
changed it. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, someone like named him that on like a set or something once, and
Willem.
he just kept it. Yeah.
See, all of these moments fall under the what I would call, if I was a young person coming up, the whatever
Right.
nigga. It's a whatever
Yeah,
nigga. Like, no, actually, it's William whatever nigga. Like,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
just let it go. Wait till
I'm not famous enough. Yeah, I'm not
Exactly.
famous
Well-
enough to challenge y'all yet. But when I get there,
But he
I'm gonna
stuck
tell
to
all
it.
y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And now
kill
it's
to
Willem.
everybody if until I'm famous and I'm correcting everybody.
I know a clip I saw recently was from Drink Champs, and it was Cameron talking about before his first album came out, him and his friends were at a airport, and Lawrence Fishburne walked by,
Mm.
and they're like, "Oh snap, it's Lawrence Fishburne!" all that. And then one of his friends that passed away, some time ago, he was like, "Yo, Larry," just
It's that
oh.
Larry.
And he was like, and then like he was hearing everyone saying Lawrence. He's like, okay, whatever, people. And he hears that, "Yo, Larry," and he's like,
That's so
he
funny.
turns around and he's like, "What you saying?" He's like, "I called you Larry." He was just like, oh. And it was
But this is someone who used to know him.
no.
Oh, I thought it was someone who knew him like that.
Just
just
Oh, just
familiar.
This is someone who wants to get clapped.
Yeah, and it almost it was weird because it almost got to that. Like if you watch that clip
Yeah.
from Drink Champs, he says like it almost like came to blows a bit, and Lawrence like went into his pocket, pull out some gloves, and almost squared up.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
And
I'm
it
not
was
gonna
like-
get my fingerprints on you. I get it. Beat your ass and get the
And
hell
he,
out
and
of
he
here.
pulled out his identification. Like, what does that say? That says Lawrence. That doesn't say Larry. Whatever.
Can
Your
you
name
imagine?
Larry. Like, oh man.
Can you imagine it's Lawrence Fishburne beating somebody up and then sweeping them for DNA? Make sure he
Oh.
don't get caught.
Yes,
Oh,
I can.
man.
It's Lawrence Fishburne. What the fuck you mean?
Put respect, to Lawrence. He's like, and then so
That
like
is
and then
so funny.
I think the whole point of that story was, what was his name? Nori was asking him who likes your music that you'd be surprised by. So Cameron starts with that story,
Yeah.
and it gets a little bit like it doesn't come to blows, but Lawrence was like super pissed that walks away. But this is before Cameron's first album comes out, and then years later, 6 years later or something, some dude's driving Cameron's pink
Cadillac?
no, not Cadillac, Rolls Royce.
Rolls
And then
Royce.
another car pulls up to it, and it's Lawrence Fishburne. He's like, "Yo, isn't that Cameron's car?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's letting me drive it for a bit." He's like, "Okay, you tell him I like his album, I like his music, man. He's really
Wow.
good. You let him know. You let him know Lawrence Fishburne told him." And he's like, Lawrence doesn't even remember that me and my crew, like not my crew, just one
Yeah.
dude is trashing him, and all the rest of us are trying to calm him down and be like, "No, stop, like, dude." And apparently, Jim Jones was an extra in. Oh, what was it? Homicide or something like that, or like one of the early
like
um,
NBC,
yeah.
ABC procedurals back in the day.
Exactly. And he was like, "Oh, can you give us some like tips?" He's like, "I'm not giving you no tips. You calling me like you're disrespecting me. I'm not gonna help you. Like, what is this?"
Back before Jim Jones could really rap too. Like, nah, honestly, he gets the award for like most improvement rapper because he started off really and then around We Fly High he hit one, and then now you listen to Jim Jones and he's like, he's good. He's actually really good.
We Fly High. Wow.
Practice. Remember
I
that?
can only imagine.
No,
I can only imagine Cameron's practicing Mamacita, si señorita.
Listen, they never do Horse and Carrot. That is one song that they never perform. I'm mad because that is actually, you gave me a great idea.
They did it. I know they did it once on
Wait,
BET.
why don't they do it?
It's because listen, when rappers do concerts and like after a while the song just gets too old for them. So you want to hear it's like Busta Rhymes doing Give Me Some More. Busta Rhymes is never going to perform Give Me Some More or Dangerous or any of those songs.
Skinny. Okay, Ness, I'll let you say your next stop, but Skinny, you got to talk about the concert after.
Of course. That's a segue.
Yeah, Ness, hit us with what you were about to say though. Why do you hate that?
I was just gonna say I hate that. Like when they don't want to play a classic song that everybody knows, everyone knows the lyrics to, but they're just so tired of performing it. But it's like that's what we came for. Right? Do the song. Just do the song.
Do the dance.
I always feel
when I went to Lauryn Hill's concert, she also there were so many classic songs she didn't really want to do.
You're so brave.
I've been to Lauryn Hill too, and I
so brave.
I saw Lauryn Hill at Place des
Wasn't great.
At least I had a seat.
I'm not here to try you do new interpolations of your shit. Play the damn song the way.
Yes.
No,
I want to hear the bossa nova remix.
So
like,
frustrating to watch, and on top of it,
because it's all remixes. It's all remixes.
Out of here, man.
Remixes and like short clips of it, like not even the whole song. I had a seat too, thankfully, but it was at Place Belle. But it was still like
and that on top of the fact that she shows up like literally an hour
2 hours late.
2 hours late, yeah.
Didn't I send you guys that joke, that meme joke?
Who's showing up?
Oh man, Lauryn Hill has a show tonight. Are you gonna go? Lauryn Hill, nah.
Yeah. Yes. It's brutal. It's brutal because you get to the show excited to see Lauryn Hill, and I didn't know this. This was before she started doing that. Well, I guess she had always been doing it, but word of mouth hadn't gotten around that she just shows up mad late.
Didn't exist yet.
Yeah. So it was a Place des Arts show. It was super early. And like her coming back, people were joking that she was only coming back because she had to pay off some taxes because she hadn't really done anything for a minute. And I was just
some taxes she had to pay.
They said the same thing for the concert.
And you know what? So be it. It's her job.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I know people were saying that, and I was just like, yes, she decided to work to pay taxes. All right,
that's clog my toilet, Ted. Like, shut up, boy. God damn it.
But yeah, so I'm sitting in the audience, opener, like I don't even think we had an opener because it's Place des Arts. So I just remember us
waiting.
Like they had music and stuff.
Mad silent elevator music until the show started.
I think it was just like the band jamming out, but she showed up like an hour. In my case, it was an hour late, but the band was jamming out.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Oh no!
How
like
long was 2 hour? A 2-3?
Yeah,
2 hours.
Doors open at 7. You're still there at 11, standing in there.
Ours was like 2 hours.
Oh
my She came on. I think it started at 8, and she came on around 10 something.
No.
With openers though.
Yeah. Like,
no, not even good opener.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I remember like I went with my I guess my sister-in-law, and she was like, if she doesn't come on in like the next 30 minutes, we are leaving.
Yeah. That's the true test. You know what's funny? That's the true test of Lauryn Hill, because Lauryn Hill knows all y'all are saying, if she doesn't come on in the next 30 minutes, I'm leaving. And she shows up at 29 minutes and 30 seconds. She comes out on that stage.
Or all of us were already fed up wanting to leave, but we were all like still just waiting around because we're like,
you spent the money.
So,
right. I want my money.
Everyone's like, okay, another 30 more minutes.
At what point do you think you'd be allowed to get your money back? If you let's say, if you go to, I'm saying hypothetically. Okay, let's look at it this way. Hypothetically, you buy a ticket for a concert. The concert starts at doors at 7, show starts at 8. Main act will show up when they're supposed to show up. You see the first opener, the second opener, third. You're like, okay, Now it's the DJ. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours. Should you be allowed to get your money back if the main act hasn't shown up 2 hours after the doors have 3 hours after the doors have opened?
I will tell you this: good luck getting to that promoter afterwards.
Yeah.
And or anyone in that facility who's wanting to help you, they will books you around that phone, and then you just get hung up on. Hey, let me put you on hold for a sec. Yeah, real quick.
It'll be Atlanta when they're trying to get the money from the club promoter, and he's just going in the back room. And the guy steps underneath the bookcase. He's going into the crawl spaces. He's going into the disappearing door and shit.
Man, Atlanta, we need that show back, man. Shit. This Missy concert, man.
Yes, hit us.
Wow, hold on. Okay, so
talking about professionals now.
Okay, real professionals. I'm gonna get my mic closed. Yeah, people really did show up because they're like, yeah, show starts 7:30. I'm like, ain't no starting on 7:30. It started at 7:30. Then Timbaland opened.
Messing around.
Like it was for our anniversary, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna get nosebleeds. I'm gonna see Missy Elliott. Let's spend the money. Get the tickets. Bunny, let's go.
I've heard. Was I right in hearing that she didn't tour for the longest time because she had a sick dog that she wanted to take care of?
Oh,
like I heard she hadn't really been touring. So like
news to us, sir.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I mean, you got some connects to hear.
Yeah, seriously. Not hear that. I was out here hanging out with Nardwar.
Yeah, man.
And then, so, like sadly, the dog passed away. Now she's free to.
Oh wow, this is wild. Is this like a full story? I didn't. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I can't remember.
You're telling me she doesn't have someone taking care of her dog for her?
Nah.
Yeah, but if the dog was sick, like if
she wanted to like spend time with it, sorry.
Yeah, this dog could go at any moment, you know.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me.
I'm not even a dog person.
I was a dog owner, so that's really insensitive.
I'm like, even I know you want to spend more time with the dog if the dog's not there. That's just like, just get someone else to take care of the dog and start dancing on that stage, Missy.
Sorry, it just sounds because she's a pop, like she's a huge artist, so I'm just like surprised that she would like take a long break.
Yeah,
take care of her dog.
Lee J is saying he heard the same thing too.
Where
are you guys connected to? Where are you getting this information?
Nardwar. Yo, I'm telling you, these two are hanging out with Nardwar when we're not looking. Nardwar is part of their crew. Nardwar went to my high school, it seems, because all you
Nardwar's all the way in the West Coast.
I know, I'm joking.
So Timbaland opens at 7:30 on the dot. We get in. We're like, hey, so last show was Snoop Dogg and the seats were 205. 205 is like a magical, like you're going through like it's very hard to get to because you're going near the club seats, but then there's a section to get off to get to actual seats, but they don't try to tell you that. 116, however, you're right on the floor, and I didn't really realize that, so I was like, oh, 116 seats, row H, 3 and 4. I put myself at the edge because I'm not trying to move through people who I'm trying to go to the bathroom. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
But I'm also not trying to be by the edge because there's weirdos come and stand next to you and think they're your friends. Also weird. So we're
hey, I'm your friend. Can I just scoot in over here and just chill over here and then block your view?
Yeah, it is a thing. It's a bad thing.
I've seen that before.
Seats 1 and 2 were open when we first got there, and the girl who was standing right next to us was like, "Yeah, those seats have been open. So like, if you guys want to stand over there, that's good." And I'm almost like, "Yeah, I get it, girl. You don't want to stand too close to me, but too bad. So relax." Timbaland gets on. The minute we sit down, man, goes into like literally goes. We sit, it goes dirty south. I'm like, yes. Woo! Greatness. Okay, starts off good. He went into that Leo song.
Wait, I didn't even know he was on the tour. I thought it was.
I didn't either.
They had him opening like a chump. It was $100 to meet and greet him. I don't understand. Timbaland. Yeah,
that's
right.
Crazy. $100 for a Timbaland
meet and greet him. I don't like. I wanted.
I would pay that.
Yeah. Didn't do it at the time, but I was like, oh, I can go back. You can't go back. Anyways, Timbo opens. He goes into the Justin hits. It was really, 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 really fun. Just sick. Okay. His mic was really, really good. This I don't understand. Timbaland doesn't rap, but his mic was clear as hell. Half an hour after he is done, it goes by Busta's turn. Busta opens with Annie Up. So I wasn't in my seat yet. Daniel's trying to see your friend. So he opens with the Annie Up, and I'm like, I've seen, like, I just kind of heard it at Ghostface in the park. I'm kind of good. I don't need to see Busta Rhymes do that. Whatever. It's like, well, yap that fool. So he does this shit. But then he goes on, and I noticed, because of course hip hop, his mic isn't clear, and I can barely hear him. And I'm in the red section, so I'm like, oh, it's not me in my distance. It's something with his mic, or he's not speaking or the guy engineering is doing a bad job.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't again, but with Busta Rhymes, you're not gonna get everything you want. He did Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See fairly early into his set. That's when I knew almost like, okay, this is gonna be like Make It Clap and On.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm here for like Dangerous.
Yeah, you're not getting an Extinction Level Event, the first one.
He did what's it gonna be with Janet, and he did the first verse.
Oh, okay.
He did Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See, first verse, chorus, bit of the second verse, the hook of Fire It Up.
Okay.
What y'all going to see? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The hook of Fire It Up stops, talks for a long bit. Split Star goes on.
Yeah.
The girls are like, girls next to me are like, who is that guy? I'm like, it's Split Star. Like,
his best friend. You shut your mouth.
Yeah, like, I'm like, why are you here? Shush.
If you
they're there for Missy Elliott in their defense.
Not really, because Make It Clap comes on and here these girls like,
yeah.
Kermit the Frog waving their hands in their armpits.
Wait, did he do Touch It and then
wait.
Okay.
And then Busta does, he finishes off with Pass the Courvoisier. Doesn't do, like, cuts it at the verse because he's not giving Diddy any kind of
exactly.
He talks for a bit, goes into Pass the Courvoisier. Don't do that, man. Everybody goes crazy, stops. Bomb. Ciara killed it.
Yeah. Ciara, second time in Montreal.
Ciara killed it because
so jealous.
I know.
Man,
I know.
Man.
One thing that's interesting about Ciara, you're like, oh yeah, Ciara, okay. And then when you're like, no, wait a minute, let me look at her catalog, and you're like, yeah. This girl's got hits.
Yeah, Ciara's one of those ones. Ciara's one of those ones where because of when she came out, she was outshunned by other artists on the chart.
Yes,
so she didn't rise to the same number, but she is as good as most of the people, her contemporaries. So if not better than some, if we're being honest, because she's a better dancer than a lot of them.
Right, for sure. Yeah. Came after her first song. She did she did Like a Boy. She did oh man, it's crazy. She did like 4 sensual songs where I didn't know the words, but it looked crazy because she was dancing all nuts. I was like, okay, cool.
She do Level Up.
Yo, so she did Level Up. I know. Right. I didn't know Level Up. Level Up was crazy.
Yeah.
Level Up was
oh, you hadn't heard it before?
Woo! Level Up was, like I've heard it before, but I didn't care about the song. And then she also did the song from what was this? Okay, there was a movie.
Did she do 1 2 Step?
She did 1 2 Step. She also did the song from. It's called like the hook starts with she's saying ooh, but what is it? Is it from a movie? What movie is it from? Get Up. The song is called Get Up. But either way, it's from some movie. I think it's like a Will Smith movie, but like it's a soundtrack song that you wouldn't think she would do. Did it, killed it, great. Anyways, Missy comes on. Out of this world. Just I can't even get into how great
it says. Step Up.
Are you talking about?
She did
a
song
Get Up from
Yes.
Yeah. It's with Chameleonaire. It's
the
Step Up movie.
Yeah, the Step Up movie.
She did that song, and I forgot how good that song was. Like
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like when you're like looking up her stuff, you're like,
I know.
They
get into how was because she's a crazy dancer. So and I'm assuming she did dance numbers.
Bro, they changed the set for her.
Amazing. Did she? Was she lip singing though, or was she like live?
I felt like she was more live than Missy. Like I heard her and breathing. Missy and I'm not gonna judge her for it, but like I heard Ciara, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I gave her props for doing these songs because
because artists who dance a lot, they tend to it's really tough to dance and sing at the same time. So I don't blame them for lip singing. I'm just wondering.
Don't a lot of them like train on treadmills now? They like literally will sing.
I heard
their
Beyonce. That's what she does.
Yeah,
but they usually still have vocals in the back to help support.
Right. But I understand that whole training thing. That's kind of crazy. Like I saw.
Yeah, that's insane.
So then Missy comes out, does her different eras, has her like different symbols for like I Can Stand the Rain. She's a bitch.
Did she come out in the bag?
So she did come out in the bag. Listen, The Rain was a spectacle, and it was like a long. You're waiting for it to build up. It was like dance music, and then when the beat finally dropped, I didn't post the video on Instagram because I was screaming too much. Like legit, you don't want to hear me off key singing the lyrics, not mumbling shit I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just like like I'm rapping.
That is so funny.
Sick. It was so good. Gossip Folk was just like breakdancers on 2 platforms. Heard the beat just. It was a great, amazing experience. Then she did Was it Lose Control? No, Lose Control is when. Wait, she didn't do Lose Control. Is the other one that's also fast.
She didn't do Lose Control though.
Wait,
she must have.
She did, but it's what
but
she did. It was okay. So Lose Control, she did that song, but there was a whole thing at the end that I want to get into that had Lose Control in it. But the song in between, at one point, she literally just walked through the crowd, and I don't remember what song it was, but it's another one of her like fast songs. And yeah, she walked through the crowd, like her and a gang of people.
The one
going through the crowd. Well, what?
Lose Control is the one with the kids dancing?
Yeah, no. Did she bring? Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yeah. Did she bring Allison Stoner?
No,
she didn't bring her out.
Stoner is not coming all the way from Montreal.
No, she did a Missy Elliott tribute thing.
Yeah, a while back.
She did the choreography.
No, I know, but I'm saying like she's not touring with Missy right
now.
No,
I know. It's a joke.
That'd be hilarious.
Brian, quickly look up like just Missy Elliott hit songs for me, like on the side real quick, so I can just try to remember which song she did this to. But she kind of did like a conga line through the crowd. Like if you're on the floor, she basically goes down through the crowd. Yeah, exactly. If you're on the floor and you're just like, wait, what's happening? She's coming through the crowd. She's leading it. All of her dancers are behind her. Camera, security guards, big beefy men around her, obviously. But like she's going up near people. People are taking like selfies with her throughout the hook of the song. She literally did like a whole turn. And then she comes through the front, back up the other side of the front, and then like stops. That's the end there for a second. People start cheering, everything good. Goes into 1 minute, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You're just like, oh my God, I forgot about this. After that, that's when this whole end sequence happens where she's just like, okay, I just want to give thanks to all my people, blah, blah, blah. Busts out Timbaland. They do Up Jumps the Boogie.
Nice.
Yeah. Right? Wow. So her and Timbaland do that song. And then they did the other song with her, Magoo, Aaliyah, and Timbo. That's probably the song Up Jumps the Boogie. And then after that, Busta comes back, which I forgot about. Fucking Touch It.
Right.
And that's where I posted that video
because she's on the remix,
bro. He does Touch It. He does his verse, and then I posted that, but I was still screaming in that. Didn't care. Turn it up. Like I didn't care. It was crazy. It was insane. After that, these niggas do fucking Lose Control. Ciara comes back.
Yeah, and it was like she's on Lose Control.
Yeah,
and scooping her on that.
Yeah.
I don't normally like that hip hop beat like that. Boom, I hate that shit. Like the 80s hip hop beats, can't stand it. It bothers me. It makes me think of talking about rapping and talking like this. I can't. But today at night, 3 gins in.
You were just like, this is a vibe.
Did they? Oh, they probably didn't do.
Probably a great show.
What was it? Cop That Shit, eh?
What?
Cop That Shit. Oh,
no.
Your bootleggers breaking off both of your legs.
No, she didn't.
No,
she didn't do that song.
I'm trying to look up. One. So she probably did 1 2 Step.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure.
She did Lose Control.
She did Lose Control. 1 2 Step with Ciara by herself and no Missy. Lose Control with Ciara.
Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. She did. Missy did Work It.
Hot Boys. Woo! Hot Boys.
She did Hot Boys.
Get Your Freak On.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She did Get Your Freak On. She opened with not Hot Boys, but what's the other song that's in that era from her first album?
Grills.
She's a Bitch.
She did Grills. She did She's a Bitch. Hold on.
What's the one with the Brat? Shoot.
And that one, the one that she opened. Okay, well that's Hot Boys. The Brat
Talk It To Me.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Ooh,
Sock It To Me. She opened with
like Mega Man character.
She opened with fucking Sock It To Me, nigga. It was,
dude, that's
and the thing is, Timbaland drums in the bells, like Timbaland drums, right?
Yeah.
That's why I produced Timbaland. That knock in the bell center.
That must have been
crazy. Guys.
That must have been crazy.
Guys, it was nuts. So
dude, yeah, I recently posted to my story that first concert, last concert thing. But I don't know if you guys see all those add yours on social media, add yours, and it's like a picture of your pet, add yours, a list of all your concerts. I added the whenever I add it, I fake the answers. I always put BS because I feel like the add yours is just that data collection. I don't trust it. It seems super weird to me. Some of those questions are questions that you get asked when you lose your password. And I'm like, y'all don't notice a trend? Like this is some weird shit that they're asking you. So I put that I went to the Missy concert.
Yes, I did. I thought, I'm like, you weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the Missy concert. I put my first concert ever was Paul McCartney because I looked up a concert that would have happened when I was a kid.
I
1989 at the Forum, Paul McCartney. I didn't go to no Paul McCartney.
I did believe you.
but then if you notice, if you look at my stories, I always put GeekCypha. Like I always change. Yeah. So that's what I actually do. I guys, if you see an ad yours for me on my socials, Ryan Holiday, as you see right there, it's fake. It's all BS. I'm not going to tell you the truth. If you know me, you know the truth already. Trust me. If I was at Missy, you would have seen that in the story. Not a couple days later, me just saying.
I didn't even tell us when you turned 40, bro.
I didn't tell anybody when I turned 40. I told these guys
all the hackers out there, Brian's first concert was Luther Vandross at the Forum. That's what he went to. Parents didn't want to leave him at home. Just brought him with.
I honestly don't remember my the first concert I remember going to and paid for with my own money was Sean Paul, and this motherfucker fell off the stage. So that's something I will never forget.
Yes, I was there for that. That was fantastic.
That was hilarious.
It was during what's it called? Get Busy.
Yeah, and his brother sang 95% of the song.
The music. Yeah, his fat brother in the back. Yeah.
He didn't. You would see Sean holding the mic and his brother in the back singing. And you're like, that's not Sean singing. He's not even moving his mouth. He's just dancing on the stage. Anyways, so yeah, that was
much drinking.
Yes,
I'll have some beer in Montreal. Wow, this beer's strong.
And also, if I'm being fair, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm gonna be rude. The worst concert I ever went to was Chaos. He's a big
weirdo though. Whatever.
He full on got drunk and forgot the lyrics to his own songs.
Yeah. Listen.
And brought kids on stage to break dance, but didn't tell he brought these kids on stage. These kids didn't know what was going on because he's just telling them to come on stage. The kids are just like, all right, they get on stage and he starts like pointing like to them to like dance, and the kids are like, girl. And everyone's just standing there like, sing the good song, man.
Was this Sunday morning era?
Yes, exactly.
He went a little crazy when Sunday morning happened. So I remember when I was back in the day when VTV were traveling for CMW, Canadian Music Week. We're in Toronto, and we were doing like a showcase where like we did our shit, and then Chaos was on afterwards. This nigga's in the back sitting all like knees up to his face, like looks like just like hugging himself, kind of like rocking back and forth. Right around Sunday morning era, I was like, man, what happened to you, bro?
Well, one of the things that when Chaos first dropped, and this is truly Canadian hip hop for those of you who don't know who Chaos is, but look up his music because some of his tracks are legitimately good.
Heaven only knows, man. That's my
job. When he started, he said his first album was going to be his only album because he just wanted to get that message out. And I remember after he dropped that album, he started dropping like 2-3 albums, and I was always like a little disappointed that he didn't stick to the idea of like, hey, I got the message out and that's all I needed to say. Don't get me wrong. If you have more to say and you really wanted to, I understand that. It's just, if I'm being honest, I never felt he captured the same essence as his first album. Like you have people, I think I've mentioned this before, but people have said you have your whole life to make your first album. And you could tell when he made his first album, he put all of it in, like he put the work in. And then when you get to the second album and then the pop albums, you're just like, they got you. They got you.
Sunday morning they got him. That should have gone global and it didn't.
Yeah. Crab Bucket.
Was it Hymns for Disco? Was that one, right?
Crab Bucket, B-Boy Stat. Yes.
Yeah. Hymns for Disco is more. I don't know. It took me a lot longer to appreciate that one more.
Yeah. I like
his album was Eggs. The album you're talking about is Exit, right?
Yes.
Because I know he had an album before that, way earlier, and I think John Sally was his the guy that used to play for oh my goodness, for the Detroit Pistons. John Sally. He used to be his manager.
Okay.
He used to be his manager back in the day. So that's why on one of the albums in the intro, you hear John Sally. Oh, it's the John Sally show. Da, 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 da. So he's like kind of paying it forward, kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
So like you could there's like an early 90s song you could find of Chaos from like way early.
Chaos to me is so funny because as a rapper, the idea that he dropped his first album, quote unquote, 2002. Then he dropped Joyful Rebellion 2004, Atlantis Hymns for Disco 2006, and then he has The Trill, A Journey So Far. He dropped a best of album in 2009 along with a new album. Yes, it's like, sir, how are you gonna have a best of already?
Oh, he can do that. He could do that.
You feel after
I probably assumed like he was like, you know what? I've been trying to get stuff out since the 90s. It's not working. Exit. You know what? If it does well, fine. If it doesn't do well, then I try it and I could peace out. And it does well. And you're like, crap.
I had no idea that he was from Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's Canadian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
Canadian. This is back in the day. This is like me working college radio, me working at Abbott, C-Sky era, and you know, getting access to the CD vaults and just ripping everything.
What song is it that he samples? Well, actually, it was what's his name? Rich Kid sampled, but Rich Kid sampled the OC song. I've been on
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
I love the name of that.
Listen, I saw Rich Kid at Scratch Bastards barbecue like last year, and I was just like, listen, Natalie Portman, nigga. I was like, bro. He was like, thank you. Have a beer. I was like, let's go. You produced that song, thank you.
Starting to make sense to me.
You made that's the thing. I like jam. I'm not mad at his pop stuff. It's just it was so different from how he originally started. And artists can evolve. We all talk about how artists evolve. And yes, you are going to always have that moment where you as a fan feel like some of your favorite artists lost their way when they change. It's just I felt the change from Exit to Joyful Rebellion, and it felt so drastic. That I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can fuck with this, but you know,
I feel like with second one's Joyful Rebellion. I feel like he was like, you know what? Let me try other stuff. I want to do other stuff. I want to
that's fair.
Dip into the other things I like. You know, like you wouldn't think you would smash together a surfer type beat with like with reggae.
You know what?
Like the power reggae.
I spoke with Slacka the Beat Child recently for my other pod, and him and I were talking about music for a minute. And even Slacka, when you listen to his early stuff, that sounds very Dilla heavy. And then you listen to his latest stuff, and it's just like, oh, you grew up just like me. You grew up listening to the Beach Boys and like the Slackadelics. If you listen to his Slackadelics album, it doesn't sound like his old stuff, but it's so fucking smooth. And I'm like, dude, this stuff's crazy. So yeah, I get it.
Too bad he's weird now.
Canadian music, man, when it comes to hip hop, I feel like that's one thing I'll give to Canadian hip hop. We experiment more.
Yeah,
I will say that. I feel we experiment more than the Americans.
I think we experiment more because there's no sound that we really have. So we're more. We don't have to be beholden to like one rigid.
Yes, when it comes to hip hop in Canada, I don't feel like Vancouver has its own sound, but Canada doesn't have like the way Detroit, New York, Philly,
Atlanta,
LA, they all have their very specific sounds. New Orleans, all those areas have their very specific sound. Whereas like if you're from Toronto, I don't find that Toronto, quote unquote, has a specific hip hop sound because so many different hip hop artists would come out of Toronto and sound completely different, or from Ontario and sound completely different. Montreal sound completely different, and I never felt like they were stuck in like, I'm from Detroit, so I have to sound like this. I'm from LA, I have to sound like this. So that's one thing that I feel we had an advantage with. As much as people don't give Canadian hip hop as much its dues as much as they should, when it comes to making music here, we have more freedom than you do because you are in the forest. You're stuck in the forest. You can't see the trees from the forest. Y'all are in the forest. You're from Detroit. You're supposed to sound like this. You're supposed to sound like Royce. You're supposed to sound like Eminem. You're supposed to sound like Obi. Like you're supposed to sound like those specific guys from that area.
Yeah.
And they hate on you when you don't too. When you try and sound just a little different.
I especially noticed that with like West Coast rappers. They have a very like distinct sound. Like they all sound the same.
Is it G-Funk? Then get out of here.
It's
not G-Funk. Get out of here.
You ever listen to Blueface? He's just not even on the beat.
My goodness. That's one of my favorite memes. Like it's a guy, you know, the meme of the guy trying to like put the moon between his fingers, but the picture is the moon off, and it says like Blueface in the beats.
Bro, man.
It's just the idea that Blueface can't patch the beat.
I tried with Blueface until I realized how ignorant he was, and I'm like, there's no even trying to find the beat. And then it's like gone. Like that's just nothing. He's no beat, nothing.
Can we take a second to acknowledge how difficult it is to rap completely off. Yeah.
He's a genius. He brought jazz to hip hop. Be off beat.
Man, this man's skibbity bopping all way on this stuff. He don't care, man.
There's times where I've listened to Blueface and I'm like, yo, you have to be like, what was I?
On purpose.
Listen,
I was
he's
watching
also black. It's not in him to not be happy.
I was watching a TV show where someone got like a kid didn't want to be in the advanced class and he took a test and he got 100% of the questions wrong. And the teacher said, it is statistically impossible for you to get every question wrong, meaning you are smart enough to have known every answer and to put the wrong one on purpose. That's Blueface. Like being offbeat, it's like it is almost impossible to be that far off the beat. But you, sir, have to be a genius to be able to hit that far out of the box. Like
I remember Nile Rodgers was talking about playing, and he said, you know, I always pay attention to what what's his name? Miles Davis says, and he says, it's not the shit that you play, it's the shit that you don't play.
Is Miles Davis really the one that used to tell people, make sure when I park the car in the parking lot, you're already recording?
Yes.
And people are just like, but you're not in the room. It's just like, and then similar to that. So it's like, hey man, when I walk in that room, the magic might have already started. You got to be already recording. It's like, what are you talking about?
Just be ready.
Because like someone could be talking and then you might hear like a little thing in that. And you're like, I'm going to use that, you know? So like whatever's there. In that
real quick parking story, actually. Now that you said parking.
I was just going to say quick, The Simpsons, Krusty doing that on The Simpsons, the time when he was doing the voiceover.
He comes in.
Yeah, they didn't even record. If I'm not mistaken, that was a nod to the Miles Davis story.
Hey.
No, because they were changing the tape. That's why.
Yeah. No, but I know. But
it's like, okay, Krusty, we're ready for. Where did Krusty go?
Where'd he go? All right, we'll do the lines.
That's how you do it.
Hey kids. All right, right. Bye.
Kitty, hit us with the
park. Good impression.
Oh man, so the parking story. This morning, a little bit of an important flight, you know, with the wife going to the Lachine Hospital, and I just want to say a quick shout out to, not even a shout out. You guys drive, all of us, okay? You know, diagonal parking spots, not straight, but fuck them parking spots, okay? Number one. Number two. Why is it that I'm going in and it's the smallest parking spot ever? Lachine Hospital. If you've been there, don't go there. Very small.
Are they still under renovation?
Been forever.
I feel like it's been 5 years.
I've been in Lachine 6 years, 7 years. It's been that time. Yeah. And never getting better. Still small. Ridiculous. So finding the last parking spot. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have to deal with reversing out of this shit. Let me reverse in. Okay. I got a camera. I'm good. I'm running a little bit late. Baby in the back. We're all good. I'm backing up after going out and in. And I'm almost got it. All of a sudden, I'm checking my blind spot. There's this man there. And he's just like, hey, okay, no, you have to do this. And I'm just like, see where this man's just trying to micromanage my ass and tell me what to do.
Was he working there?
I think so. But like almost like, hey guy, I mean, he's like, yeah, so you just have to, you just have to, and I'm almost like,
traffic control.
Bro, I got a camera. I'm good. He's like, okay, you got it. So, you know, good. I'm like, yeah, my G, it's like peeing. Like I can't, you know, and he's like, well, the doctor, he's trying to park. I'm like, he can wait.
Yeah,
it's 9 o'clock. If he's trying to show up at 9 o'clock, talk about parking with his Tesla in the last parking spot, he's not a very good doctor now, is he?
He's like, go. Doctor needs to be in for his patient.
Oh my god. Anyway, so
valet parking smart then, doc. Like, what do you mean? Like, if he needs to be in, you do it for him. I don't know.
So obviously being nervous, I parked this thing wild crooked, and then like shouts to my wife, who just like the man keeps going. She's just like with the window. We get out in the car, and I was like, it's like she's like, baby, the door's over here. I was like, I was just gonna talk to this man real quick and be like, why do you feel like you need to tell me what to do? What part of you saw me and said, hey, this guy's got a baby on board sticker and a whole ass wife in the front seat, probably a baby in the back. I'm pretty sure he's got his life together. Let me tell him how to park.
Crazy.
Why? Anyways, that's all. Shouts
he's
to
probably bored.
Yeah, that too.
Parking attendant, probably bored, probably boys with the doctor, probably trying to see a doctor. I don't know. Who knows? All the same. Missy Elliott, great concert.
Dope. I hope people, if you're listening to this and you're in one of the cities that they haven't hit yet, enjoy. I mean, I definitely wish I'd gone to that concert. I very, very much wanted to go to it, and I do regret not getting a ticket. But
spend the money, y'all. I mean, it sucks, but spend the money. Unless it's Beyonce and $1,000, spend the money.
Yeah. Skinny, you were gonna be excited because I didn't like Mutant Mayhem, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Really?
Well, remember I said I like fell asleep watching it, and Skinny was like,
try to watch
it
again, or every time you watch, you get a full shift, and you're like,
yeah, honestly, dude, I tried watching it like 3 times and I passed out.
Wow.
Each time.
Oh,
I liked
no.
it. I saw it on the plane. I liked it a lot.
But Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You watched it on a plane.
Yeah, I didn't go to see it in the theater, but
I went and
support it where I could. All right,
I deliberately rented that.
Voice. Nigga, you watched it on a plane.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna show
You know,
you
the
Blu-ray.
altitude, you're a little
bit jumbly.
Hey,
a little
Blu-ray, watch
fuzzy
out.
up there.
You've had a few drinks. You're just like, all right, I'll fuck with these turtles. Go ahead.
Now, where can I watch Tales? Because I don't have the Crave no more.
So Tales is on Paramount Plus, but so in Montreal, in Canada, we doing sources. But I went through.
If you want to pay,
it's on Prime.
Prime through Stack TV and other things.
Yeah. True, you can get Paramount Plus through Prime. So if you want to do it the way that I did, right? Legit. That's right. You do it that way. So Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, homie. I gotta say, I really watching this show made me want to go back and watch the movie because the show references things in the movie and continues on the story. And the whole time I was just like, well, shit, I actually want to watch this now. I think that Superfly turned into Super Duper Fly, like all this craziness. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
This sounds great.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, I need to watch.
I'm watching this show. So
the fights look good too. The fight, like, I saw a clip of one of the fights, and I was like, ooh.
Now,
but he said he fell asleep, so I don't.
I think it's just the beginning's a little slow, but honestly, Ness, the way they describe it, the ending must be the third act must blow the fuck up because
the third act is crazy.
Yo, exactly, because in the show they're referencing wild shit. Rocksteady, Bebop, fighting a guy, a satellite. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never seen any of this in that movie.
You know what that reminds me of? A friend of mine that I asked her if she watched the Lego movie, and she said, no, I didn't watch it all the way through. I'm like, oh, so did you get to the secret part of the ending? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, the big reveal at the ending, like the whole thing. So I think she didn't like it because she's like, this movie's too childish for me.
Oh, so
she just kind of cut out. And I was like, no, you have to, like, the whole there's a whole thing,
you got to
reveal at the end.
Honestly, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you guys don't know the story, the whole concept of the story is that each turtle is telling an individual story that links together an overarching tale. So one of the reasons I liked it is because it feels like you're reading a comic book. You get each character's version of the story from their perspective, and then the last episode of the arc is where they all come together, put the pieces together, and then beat the big bad. They have 2 arcs in the season, so it's 12 episodes. You got 6, so it feels exactly like a comic book because usually that's how long an arc is in a comic book.
How long each episode?
Episodes are 23 minutes or something.
Oh, snap. Like, okay, I got a good watch.
Yeah, standard like cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon style. Like if I was a kid, this is what I would want playing Saturday morning cartoons like this with another show and another show. Bong, I would be there. Like this with not Caped Crusader, but maybe if you gave me like another Justice League show with this Ninja Turtles and like a good Disney show, I would be down because it would make for a solid like morning block like when we were kids.
So this Avengers EMH, Justice League Unlimited, and let me throw in for shits and giggles, Beast Wars.
Sure, yeah. Because this is such a good lead-in because you have to watch. You don't have to, but you want to watch each episode to get to the last one. So if you put this as a lead in, then you're going to end up being like, oh, I'll watch all the, like, you end up just watching all the other stuff. You know how Saturday mornings are. You like watch one thing and next thing you know, you're there for 2 hours and your parents are just like,
and then you're watching Maury and you're like, why am I watching Maury?
Until you get to Crow. Nobody liked Crow. I hated that show.
Crow was all right, but Crow was mad early in the morning. That's
Crow was 7:30 for a reason, bro.
Early in the morning.
They tried to put it out at 11 and they were like, no, we're leaving the kids.
It got pushed back, yeah.
But yeah,
like, yo, we got this new show, Crow, come check it out. Moving it to 6 on a Sunday.
Yo, shouts to the movie spin-off shows that never really did anything. Like Fievel.
yeah.
Fievel, that didn't do well. Fievel Goes West, or no, that was the second.
But I think the thing I like about Mutant Mayhem is that they're not like, they're like more younger.
Yeah, they're younger.
And like they have a bit of a more motivation. They're more like, hey, we want to go to school. Like we want to be normal kids. We want to interact with other people and see all that stuff we see on TV.
So you know what I would team it up with? My Adventures with Superman. That new show. Yeah. And the reason I think one of the things I find super interesting about these worlds that they're creating for the next generation of cartoon fans is all the superheroes, their identities are known early on. Like in the new Superman series, Lois and Jimmy know that Clark is Superman. And in this show, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the public knows about the Turtles. Mutants are a known factor in society. They're going to high school now. So it's like when you're watching these shows, the concept of secret identity is kind of like out the window, unless you're Batman, where you always have to do it. But these other shows, that maybe that new Spider-Man show too, because they might do something where Peter's identity is known. But like I
still don't know how they're gonna fit that show in.
I can't wait till they do a Batman story where Batman's identity gets revealed and like somebody in the media is like, this rich person's running around beating up poor people. With all of his money into his suits. He could be doing this. He could be doing social services. He just running out.
Well, they've already done that. They did it on Harley Quinn. On Harley Quinn, when they unmasked Batman.
I thought they did. I thought they thought that was fake. Like I thought they were that's not Batman. It's just he's here to
Joker is there. They unmask. He's caught. They unmask him. And Scarecrow unmasks him, if I'm not mistaken. And Joker loses his shit. He's just like, "Why did you do that?" The mystery was half the fun. And then when he looks at he looks at Bruce, he's just like, "You son of a bitch!" And he's just like, like Batman does his whole like Batman speech, and Joker's like, "I don't care about you being Batman. Where's my Wayne Tech car?" Like,
where's my Wayne Tech?
He starts to like
electric car.
He starts like confronting him about the fact that Bruce Wayne is a bad business owner. He doesn't even talk to him about the fact that he's Batman. He starts shitting on him for being a bad billionaire, and that's to me is the real commentary of that character. Well, all this to say, watch the episodes. The first 6 episode arc wasn't as good as the back 6, but man, the last arc was good. The last arc. The fight scene in the last episode, the 2 fight scenes. Splinter has an episode where he fights someone that is wild, and then they have a fight scene at the end that is crazy. That is just Goldfin.
Are they fighting somebody small?
Yeah, Goldfin.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the fight I saw. And then
the Goldfin fight. The Goldfin fight almost felt on par with a kind of like a Dragon Ball type anime episode.
It's choreographed super well,
dude. Some of the stuff he's doing, like I'm pretty sure Danny Trejo does the voice of the seahorse Mustang Sally, and that fight scene with Leo is okay, and then you have the eel that Mikey has a fight with that is okay, like the good fight.
They're holding on to their budget. That's why.
Yes.
Whenever they have a bottle episode, whenever you see certain things aren't animated well, because they're saving it for the budget for.
It really did feel like they were doing that. A good point, because the Mikey episode, the entire episode takes place in a bodega where the water fills up and they're on top of the shelves trying not to get electrocuted. So they pretty much don't move most of the episode. The big joke is that the battle toad that's hanging out with them is trying to eat the cat. Ha ha ha. Sure. But like the fights don't really go anywhere because you can't go in the water and you can't really go anywhere. So most of the fight is just jumping around, which is fine. It's not a great fight, but it has some good action. But when I tell you they get to the episode with Goldfin at the end and they have Splinter's fight with Goldfin and then Goldfin fighting all of them, Goldfin fighting like legit everybody and whooping the floor with them. And it doesn't even make sense. And one of the things I thought was crazy is the idea that these 3 characters got mutated at the end of the movie. And now this is just a couple weeks later. So when I'm watching it, I was just like, where did he learn martial arts like this, though? Because he's beating the Ninja Turtles. Like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, how did this man become better at martial arts than Splinter? He beat Splinter at one point. Anyways.
Okay, wow.
Wild. But definitely worth people checking out because
It is worth it? Because you fell asleep 3 times.
The TV show. The movie. The TV show.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the TV show.
Go back and watch Mutant Mayhem. How's the music not drawing you in?
I'm just gonna watch
all
the
that
third
old school
act.
hip hop.
I'm just gonna watch the third act of the movie. I'm gonna
skip. How do you fall asleep at like
John,
what five times speed? How does that even work?
I'm not even speeding it up, Jaws. I was trying to pay attention.
It's like, oh,
I'm telling you, dude. I was sitting on my couch, and next thing I knew, the movie was done, and I was like, "Wait, what?" I tried it a second time when I was like watching it. Yeah,
I felt check your pipes that there's no gas leak going on. I think that's what's up, man.
Yeah. No, it wasn't 3 times. It was 2 times.
Damn.
I was trying to think of the third time, but no, 2 times.
Keep
I will admit though, the second time I tried to watch it at like 9 o'clock at night on like a Thursday, and I was already tired, and I was just like, all right, let me put it on, and then woke up and it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and the TV was just like, bitch, go to bed. Like, why are
you still up?
Yeah, my TV was just like, why am I still on? And I have dark lights, I have like black lights when I watch movies, so like everything in the room has like a bluish tint to it. Anything white is blue. So I'm like, I like wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I feel like I'm in a music video. I'm like, where am I? What's going on? So that was a mistake. But the first time was a Sunday afternoon. I was building Lego. I'm watching the movie. I finished the Lego set. I move over to sit in the corner of the couch watching the movie. And then next thing I knew, I woke up and it was like 5 p.m. And I was like, I'm hungry. I'm like, wait, did I just sleep through that movie? So
you're watching it tired all the time. I don't think it's the movie's fault.
I know.
I'm sure you're gonna start hearing like Q-Tip rapping, and you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
I know. I feel like I would really like it too, which is the hard part.
The music selection is really good.
Don't get me wrong. I know. I'm watching the show. I like it. Lesson learned. Ness, I see you're adding a movie. She's adding a movie live to the list, y'all. Now can't see it, but we have our list, and on the list, I'm just seeing Sing.
Well, I was like, I mean, I thought about it adding it earlier, but I was like, it's not really geek pop culture related. So I was like,
is it a current film that's out?
Yeah, it's a movie called Sing Sing.
Black leads?
Yeah, it's starring Colman Domingo.
Let it rip. It's black culture. Hit it.
Yeah, so actually I don't think it was released recently. I think it was released in 2023 at a film festival, but it's been released in theaters recently.
Wide release. Okay.
Yeah. So it's called Sing Sing with Colman Domingo, starring Colman Domingo. Am I saying it right? Yeah. Colman Domingo.
Who's going to be the voice? Actually, if you want to make it nerdy, he's going to be the voice of Norman Osborn in the new Spider-Man cartoon.
Cool.
If you want to connect it to the nerddom, there you go.
Black Norman Osborn finally has the waves. It makes sense now. He going ahead with a Sully.
People are excited.
I don't know if you guys are a fan of him or have seen him play other roles.
I mean, I've seen his red carpet appearances where he's been killing it.
His stylist? I don't know who he is, but damn.
I saw them interview somebody about who's been killing it on the red carpet for women, and the person like this fashion style.
Zendaya.
Yeah, they named like a bunch of people, and then they said no one's really doing it for the men, and all the comments under that is like, you are bad at your job. Colman Domingo has been killing this award season. You should be ashamed of yourself. Like, those were all the comments. You are genuinely bad at your job if you did not recognize this person. So that was really good. Anyway.
Yeah, he's killing it. But he's also killing it in the acting world, in Hollywood, I guess.
Yeah.
So this movie is based on a true story about a theater program that Colman Domingo's character started. He's one of the founders of this program it's in a prison.
Okay. I've heard about
I don't remember where it is. Sorry, I'm just looking it up because I don't want to give the wrong information.
Well, Sing Sing is a prison. It's the name of a prison. So it's probably that.
Oh, then I guess I didn't know that was the name of the prison. Wow.
Yeah. There's a prison.
I thought it was the name of the place. Like, I thought it was a city in.
Oh, no. Sing Sing Correctional Facility. Yeah, it's a famous
so
prison.
it's about so it's about Sing Sing then.
Yeah,
that's why it's called Sing Sing. I thought Sing Sing was a city. Wow.
It's a prison in Ossining, New York, and I know it's referred to as Sing Sing. Yeah. So sorry,
Take
I'll let
this
you
money.
Yeah. So basically, the movie is based on a true story about this theater program that they started. Colman Domingo's character in real life, his name is yes.
John Divine G. Whitfield?
No, it's not Divine.
Clarence
It is
Divine
Divine G.
I.
Sorry.
Macklin.
It is Divine G. So this guy in real life started a theater program at Sing Sing, and this movie is based on that and how it became like this escape for the prisoners there. But what's so interesting about this movie is that majority of the cast are real inmates.
Oh, okay.
So majority besides Colman Domingo, there's a few others, but Colman Domingo is the main he's the one starring in the movie. He's obviously an actor, but the rest of them are all actual inmates from Sing Sing.
Okay, wait. So these guys get into this program to become actors that helps them alleviate the stress of being in prison. The story becomes they make a movie of it and cast the same people because their acting chops have gotten that good. Holy shit, that's beautiful.
It's such it's such a beautiful story, and it's so interesting because the whole time I was watching the movie, I had no idea that they were the actual inmates. I thought it was a bunch of actors. And then at the end, they do a whole, kind of like theater where they kind of show everyone and not take a bow, but they just show each one of them like looking at the camera, and it's saying this person played as himself and so the majority of them played themselves, so it's really interesting to see because they did a really good job, and the story is beautiful. The whole thing is just it's a heartwarming story, but also I guess frustrating in a way because it obviously they talk about how the system keeps them there and
I was going to ask do you have a lot of moments where like in a lot of these types of stories, the system and like racial profiling and racist like prison guards and stuff taking advantage, holding people up, taking away their privileges, like doing the program and all those things. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So Colman, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but Colman Domingo's character, he is an inmate who's been in prison for a while, but he decides to not only does he do this theater program, but he's a part of other programs as well in prison. And he also tries to help other inmates with like their paroles and all that. Like basically when they're hearing, is it called hearing?
Yeah, their hearings. Their parole hearing.
Yeah, their parole hearings when it's like about to come up, he tries to help some of the inmates like write their essay and try to prepare to like leave basically. Because a lot of them are like, F this, like I'm here forever. Why am I gonna even try to fight it? And he's like, no, like he's pushing them, saying like, no, you should try. And even if you fail, keep trying.
Right.
So
like
they show all of that. Yeah. So they show all of that in the movie, how he's really like pushing to help all these people. But then obviously there's like he goes through his own stuff. But anyways, it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And it's even more beautiful that it's a true story. And I think everyone should go watch it. Colman Domingo does an amazing job, and so do the inmates who are acting in it. It's I hope it's gonna be up for Oscars.
I didn't know that's what it was about, so I've been skipping it. I keep seeing that it's out right now, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to. I'm like, I just see guys dressed like they're in prison, and it's called Sing Sing. It's called Sing Sing, so I know Sing Sing's a prison. So in my head, I was just like, I don't really feel like watching a prison story. But no, if it's about the theater program in a prison, like I can only imagine there's also like the story of people being probably dismissive of the program and the people in the program.
Yes.
Because it's like
there's I don't want to again, I'm trying not to
No, I know. But I'm just like throwing out what I can only imagine.
You're right. You are totally right. And there is pushback and there is that's what makes it interesting, because you would think that a program like this would not be successful in a prison.
Right.
So
of course,
it's really interesting to see like how they did it, and then of course they show some clips at the end of like how some of the actual footage of some some of the plays they did and things like that. So it's a really interesting movie, really interesting story, and everyone should go watch it.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think Colman Domingo is a up and coming actor who is going to do great things in the future for sure.
He was so good in the movie with
I shouldn't really say he's up and coming though, because he's been around. I say he's up and coming because like he's only getting more popular now.
Yeah, he's breaking into the zeitgeist. Yeah. But what's the movie that they did with the girl from the Twitter story about the stripper that went crazy? He's in that movie too. The one with Riley Keough and Taylor.
Lola. Is it Lola?
Oh, I don't think I've seen
Zola. I think that's
Zola. I did see Zola. Sorry, I did see Zola.
He's in Zola, no? Isn't he the
he is
the businessman?
It's been a while since I've seen it, and I only seen it once. But I'm trying to remember who he is in Zola.
He's the pimp, essentially. I was trying to be polite, but yeah. He's the one that like drives them, and it's just like, we're just going on this trip, and you're like, it's like, yo, I need to get my money, and then
oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's fantastic in that. It was so funny.
His character's name is X.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, he's so good in that. I totally forgot about that role because I've been seeing him in other roles in the last like couple of years, like in Euphoria.
Right. Yes, he does the special.
He's been doing other stuff.
Yeah, he did a whole during the pandemic. Him and Zendaya did the one where they're just sitting.
Yes, that's my favorite episode of the whole show.
He's in Candyman. I guess he is.
Yes.
Candyman.
Oh yeah, true.
No, he's not Candyman.
No, he's William Burke.
Yeah, because I watched Candyman. I didn't know who he's not Candyman.
But yeah, I'm happy he's getting his due, and people are recognizing his talent because the man is talented. He's a very good actor.
Very good.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of good stuff recently. So
this was the first time I saw him in a starring role, actually, because usually he does supporting roles.
Right.
So this is the first time I saw him in a starring role, and he killed it.
Man, he's born in '69. How old is he?
He's older. He's up there. He's like in his 50s, I guess.
Yeah, 54. Right? He does not look 54.
No.
God, man.
Black
all right,
crack.
Well, I know. I was gonna say, like every time.
Cheesy, but
every time, it's crazy. Like you tell me this man is 54, and I'm like, he does not look 54, and it's just like, yeah, the same, Brian. It's like I know. Yeah, he's also in one of the leads in Fear the Walking Dead. So if people are looking to check him out, he's done a bunch of stuff.
He's around.
Yeah. He's done a lot of plays. Okay, I didn't realize his stage is where he started in 98 Piece of the Quilt 3. Then he did Single Black Female in 99, 2004, 2006, and 2008. He did Rhinoceros in 2001. Once on This Island 2004. Yeah, his credits are fantastic for theater. So yeah, man, I'm happy. This is dope. I look forward to seeing more from him as if he needs it. But yeah. Oh my god, he was in Nash Bridges back in the day. That's
jeez.
That's wild.
Oh, I know they did a small revival of that show.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was not good. I'll tell you all right now. I watch it. It was horrible. Do not watch it. Some shows did not need to come back. And especially when the only way you bring it back, the only thing you can think of is, well, let's have the kids take over. It's like, stop. Not everything needs the second generation, so sorry. Anyways, we got, I don't think we'll have enough time to go through everything, but I'll read the headlines real quick. Geek news and rumors. Netflix's live action One Piece 2 cast Dr. Kuriha. Did I say that? Kuriha?
Yeah, I think
Dr. so. Dr. Kuriha and Dr. Oh, Lord, I can't read that second name.
I was hoping you would just say the actors' names and people.
Oh, I didn't have a chance to read the whole article. That's why. Sorry.
Oh, did I send the wrong one?
That one's not loading. The Acolyte season 2
is. I got it. Katie Seagal is going to be playing Dr. Kura. So I think that's the character that what's her name? Screen Queen from.
It's okay, man. We can just say who they're going to play. The fans know.
Yeah. So Katie Seagal, who's also Leela, plays Leela on Futurama, and Mark Harlech is playing Dr. Hiraku.
Yeah, that's the one I couldn't pronounce.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm saying. I know I'm not saying it right. Everyone's like,
I'm not going to attempt.
Yeah, not even gonna try. The Acolyte season 2 is not happening. A lot of people are upset about this, but let's be honest, the series didn't live up to the expectations of the fandom. But one of the things that I do want to remind people that even if the series is canceled, guess what? The characters exist. They're in the lore now, so we might still see them. So
that's true.
A lot of people are just like, oh, they're ruining. It's like, well, there's still a whole entire universe, and these characters don't necessarily disappear. They also introduce a very important character in the shadows in a second to last, or if not the last episode, someone that has like deep meaning in Star Wars lore. So even if we don't explore that part of the history of Star Wars with that show, I'm sure they're going to come back and do it in another show or something else because it's Star Wars. They have all the time in the world to do that stuff. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are potentially not renewing their deal at Sony. Rumor is Puck News has reported that it's not looking good for the duo over at Sony. There's been a lot of discussion and disagreements over Spider-Man Noir. Also, the other show that they were supposed to do, Silk, for Spider Society, which got canceled completely outright. It never got made, but they weren't moving forward with that. Dead in the Water. So a lot of their projects are starting to fall through. So supposedly there's some disagreements on how the budgets are being spent over there. Hi-Fi Rush Studio, shut down by Microsoft, is saved by PUBG's publisher. Okay, I wanted to make sure I was saying that, which is great news. Because you mentioned this is something you put in the news a couple weeks ago, right? That they had shut down.
So the studio that makes Hi-Fi Rush, let me just click on that because I can't remember the name. Tango Gameworks. Right. They were closed by Microsoft, and which is really sad because Hi-Fi Rush was a game that won a bunch of awards in the video games section, and it's basically like a action music kind of game, and like you're hearing the soundtrack and you're beating up people to the soundtrack that's being played. Wow. So it's actually a pretty fun. Check it out if you get a chance to. Really funny, really smart, really good art style. Definitely check that game out.
Then we have Nintendo Museum director reveals giant Wimmets.
Sorry, so there was a Nintendo Direct, and it turned out it was about Nintendo opening their own museum in Japan, in Kyoto, and it's just them showing off the museum, what's going to be there. So they have giant Wiimotes and other treasures from Nintendo and stuff like that. So it's another part of their amusement arm. So along with their Nintendo Mario World amusement parks, that one in Japan, one in the States, they also have this in their portfolio, which is a Nintendo museum, because these guys have been around for so long. They used to be a playing card company. They used to be a playing card company. That's how long back, like in the 1900s or something like that.
I know, and only now they decide to make a museum.
I think their one of the old offices was at Ryokan, which is like a small inn, and you can actually like go there and stay there and check out all the stuff. But I think this is the first time they're building an actual thing.
Yeah,
that's wild. Awesome.
Sick.
And then we have, to end off the news, unfortunate news. Phil Donahue, the influential talk show host, passed away at 88. And Ghost in the Shell and Bayonet voice actress Atsuko Tanaka dies at 61. So we send our condolences to the families. Phil, if you're a kid of the 80s, you know Phil Donahue. He was the kind of the person that everyone was trying to mimic. Funny enough, they recently did a little kind of a doc, not a doc, but I was watching, the show that I watched about the 90s. They talked about how Springer originally started out doing a Donahue show. That's how he started. And then because the ratings were so bad, they brought in the executive producer that got brought in, used to work in tabloids. And that's when the show completely changed over. And the mentality went from interesting discussions to I'm here to sell ad revenue. Which is why we got the version of Springer that we all know, and why Phil Donahue got to end his legacy with an actual proper talk show that is still recognized as one of the best that ever was. Him, Sally Jesse Raphael.
He let the audience talk. He would go to the audience and let them speak and see what they have to say.
Him, Ricky Lake, Sally Jesse Raphael,
Oprah.
Well, I was going to say her last, but Jenny Jones, like They were all the ones that led up to Oprah.
Montel Williams, I think.
Yeah, I would say Oprah. Oprah was the end of it, like that version, and then she transitioned into not talking to the audience as much, and then that turned into like who was the next one that took over? Rosie O'Donnell. Then it became the Caroline Ray Show, and then Ellen DeGeneres. Those have all been the like daytime talk show host, like that lineage. Like you see that line of them versus the late night. There's always that kind of the dichotomy of the daytime and the nighttime show. But ultimately, very interesting to see the legacy that Phil leaves behind. So, condolences. And obviously, voice actors for Ghost in the Shell and Bayonetta, those are huge prop IPs. So, that voice will live forever. And hopefully not.
That voice actress has done a lot of other stuff. Like she's done quite a few a lot of video games and a lot of anime in Japan.
And here's hoping that, because I haven't heard about this as much with voice actors in Japan, but this AI stuff, I'm hoping that they don't start thinking about acquiring people's voices, bless you, for over in Japan, because I can imagine there's people who would want to keep those recognizable voices doing the voices forever, like a Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And hopefully they recognize that, the next generation.
If I remember right, I'm pretty sure the voice actress for Goku in Japan passed away some time ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're still doing it, without her. So
yeah.
So they found somebody else to come in. But
I just hope they stick to voice actors and not.
Me too.
Yeah. That's the end of the show, guys. Jaws, anything you want to tell the people?
Check out Transformers Slag and the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
Dope. Ness, you're doing.
Check out Sing Sing. What were we gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say you're doing some stuff. You have some training, some fitness dance stuff. I don't know if you're.
Oh, yeah. I guess unrelated to the pod, but
well,
I
if
am
anything,
starting. I'm starting dance fitness classes in Montreal, downtown Montreal. So if you're interested, you can message me at Woitsness or at Janessa.Sinclair on Instagram.
Bong.
And that's it.
And then I got the dumbest timeline. I got a new episode. The Slack of the Beat Child Part 2 drops on Friday. Great episode, great conversation. And then I have one with Van Lem Arts that comes out on the 30th. And then so you guys keep following, keep subscribing. We appreciate y'all. And we are out again this week. We thank you for tuning in to another edition. Don't forget to check us out on GeekCypha.com. GeekCypha. Peace, y'all.
Peace.